All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Season 6 of the Swain Batty
User
League.
joined your channel.
I am, as always, AJS0, joined here with my lovely co-caster, Mr. K. King, who now has a lot of opportunities to cast, considering he doesn't have to play a game every week. Mr. Danner, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. With all this opportunity to cast, I decided to invest in some better hardware, and maybe I'll start streaming the games too. Who knows?
Well, I have to say, it's been a great few weeks for me. Once upon a time, last
Cloud
season,
nine.
there was a team called Swift is Shit. And it really hurts to play versus a team called Swift is Shit when you're Swift. And not only were they a pretty decent team, they won the entire league. I didn't like that. I wanted to see every member of that team just kind of crush and fall into despair. And this season, it started first, their AD carry, K King, gets benched because he wasn't as good as the other players on his roster, couldn't even make it
Microphone
into
muted.
gold. Then their mid laner Aros, who was talking smack all the time, gets benched. Really, I think by the end of this season, I'm going to be the only one laughing anymore. All right, so we are going into our draft here.
Oh, was I muted the entire time?
Yeah, no, you were just speechless. It's okay.
Rip. Okay. I muted my mic and then my lighting indicator doesn't work, but whatever. No big deal.
All right, so into our draft, we've got WCF on the blue team and Forces of Nature on the purple team. So blown through bans here, Gnar already being taken away by WCF right away. And
Yeah,
Orianna, the third and final ban. I like that Orianna ban a lot. Blabur has been carrying pretty hard with that.
Right. They're trying to focus out and take some champs away from Babor. He kind of played a limited selection previously. I remember when I was on his LAN team and he had a couple favorites that he played all the time. So I think they're just trying to take those favorites away from him, force him onto something uncomfortable. Gangplank ban being drawn out. Boost played that last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yes, for week 5.
Right. And so I think he did surprisingly well too. So no J4 ban coming out targeted at Boost, but instead they'll throw the Gangplank at him.
And Wang going straight in back to his Fiora. And please bear with us, stream. Overlays are actually really hard. You have to just click the right one, and if you don't, the wrong
Microphone
one shows
activated.
up. We're still working on. We're still working on our
Microphone muted.
production issues. Maybe one day our streamers will be as good as the league committee.
User was moved out of your channel.
And thus
User
the
joined
AGS
your
0
channel.
was no more.
So
These second two picks are actually taking a long time to come out here. So they're really mulling over what they want to pick up and or take away from WCF. So
I'm curious to see how this Shyvana pick goes. I know it's something Wang feels very strongly about. Every week I wonder where the hard CC is going to come in on this WCF team. While purple team going for Braum and Elise, and who would have ever guessed a 30 team taking 2 of the most contested LCS picks with their first 2 selections?
I would have never guessed. No. But whatever works, it works. I think what Wang's trying to shoot for this game is he's going to say, fuck purple, fuck the bot lane, fuck top 2, let them fend for themselves, and he's going to try and carry out of the jungle, as most Shyvanas tend to do. But whether or not that actually works out, we'll see, because he's known for making some bad decisions come late game. So
I was talking to Thrifty Senpai last week, and the way he put it was, paraphrasing obviously, Wang is very good for the first 10 minutes of the game. And then after that, he just has zero idea what to do. And you know what? When that's your playstyle, maybe Shyvana is not the best choice.
Yeah.
And we do see bot lane being picked up by WCF. Caitlyn and Thresh Interesting. It looks like Albino Joe picking the Caitlyn and Gurnig picking the Thresh. And since these guys pick at the same time, it's fair to guess that they will not be trading. So
Nope.
this would be the second week in a row that Albino Joe and Gurnig would have swapped roles.
Yep. And that's just something Albino Joe's really comfortable on. And apparently, Gurnig is about as good as landing his Thresh hook as 30 is landing any hook. So whether or not the hype remains, we'll see.
Oh no!
And Dan, please. Oh, okay.
All right, that's
Getting trolled
Dan.
once
He's
again.
very troll. So I'm just Dan going back to his Wukong that he's been playing in a good number of games this split. I want to say at least half of them. And Shree bringing the Ashe back out, which I believe he played earlier this season as well. Although I'm not 100% on that.
Wasn't that Ashe Braum lane run quite a bit in the gauntlet this weekend? I feel like Sneaky Lemonation ran that at least twice or three times bot lane, and the CC that's down in that lane is insane. You hit 6 and you have a stun, you have a knock-up, you have Ashe's slow, and then on top of that you have Braum's passive, which is another stun.
Yeah.
Now throw in there Dan spinning around Wukong ult and 30 with Cocoon. Oh, it won't be 30. It'll be Labor, right? Or no, it'll be Mick. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So that's quite a bit of CC in there.
That's
with
one
some
of the
damage
longest
too.
hard CC chains you can be under.
Yeah.
And the last two picks of WCF going to be Jarvan the Fourth for Boozgraph in top lane and Purple Pickle Pie busting out Azir, which has been surprisingly not very popular in the SBL. But still a very good pick in general.
Right. Exactly. I mean, the J4 coming out for Booz, that's no surprise. My guess was that he was either going to go Gangplank or J4, and then obviously because GP got banned out, here comes out the J4. Purple on Azir, I feel it's a coin flip because you have to be very mechanically strong, I feel like, in order to succeed in a somewhat competitive league like this. But at the same time, I don't know. That's a 50-50, I feel like.
Well, I guess we're going to see. And we'll see if Flatboer actually locks in this Vel'Koz, and I'm not going to doubt it. And that is actually going to be a mid lane Vel'Koz up against the Azir.
Is that nice one in mid lane?
It could be. You know, this did get played in the Gauntlet this weekend.
That is true.
Or was it in the Gauntlet, or was it? It was in some region. Got played this weekend. I believe
Probably
it
over
lost.
in Korea or China or something. Who knows?
I watched a lot of League of Legends in the past 4 days.
It all just starts to blur together after a
But
while.
let me
doesn't
tell
it?
you when I wouldn't want to play Vel'Koz. When I'm
Between
against a
Azir?
Shyvana and a Jarvan. That is a lot of very, very hard dive that is going to get out of that Blue. But with the last pick overall, he must be pretty confident in it.
Yeah. Overall, though, all right. Looking at Team Swift, who do you feel just by looking at Champ Select has the better team? Players aside.
100% Forces of Nature, which sounds like a general trend for WCF's opponents because the biggest thing to me in WCF's draft is what the hell is Shyvana's point in that team comp? There's so much awesome like zone control and like carefully calculating your way through a team fight on that team, and then there's just a Shyvana who's just there. What is Wang's goal for being a part of that team? Especially when you used the first pick of the entire draft on it, and then didn't really build anything to synergize with it. I mean, there's some good things for the Shyvana there. Obviously, Caitlyn and Azir have a good amount of wave clear, so that helps with the power farming, and it's really tough to tower dive against all 4 of those champions, really, which once again would let Wang continue to power farm. But when we're in an even scenario in team fight, I just don't see what Wang is going to do.
Right. This is how I imagine the exchange going down. So Purple and Wang are talking, and obviously Wang wants to get Purple ahead as fast as he can. So then Purple says to Wang, just take something that can gank a bunch over and over and over again. So Wang sits back and he says, who can do that? And pick Shyvana.
Well, I mean, she does have a move speed increase, so you can come at people a little faster than they're ready for.
Right,
Very
and
underrated aspect of Shyvana
he can
Gates.
slow him down with exhaust.
Yes, that's true. You don't need a flash, so you don't have to
Exactly.
flash in to CC them as long as you can walk up and exhaust them.
That's right. Just like an Udyr running at you.
But looking at this Forces of Nature comp, these are a lot of picks I think are very good for them. And this is just, there's so much pick potential on this team. You have Enchanted Crystal Arrow, you have Braum Ultimate, you have Long Range Cocoon, you have I'm Just Dan jumping 2 monkeys deep with a knock-up. And to top it all off, Labouer sitting back, 1,500 units with a laser. They can hit hard CC from far back, and they can immediately follow it up with damage if anything on that team lands.
That's right. And we've seen a Vel'Koz long range potential before. I think it was the playoffs, season 5, Mick, over by Blue Buff with the Vel'Koz. Was that against your team, Swift? I don't quite remember.
Did not make the playoffs, so it couldn't have been.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, that wasn't a playoff game. That was a late season game, but I do remember the game. But yeah, mid lane Vel'Koz puts out just ass tons of damage. It is really, really hard to play team fight against that unless you just completely commit to diving it, which obviously, if WCF is going for the hard dive, they do have Shyvana Jarvan, even Azir in some situations if anybody's caught out.
Yep. So, overall, I'm just going to cheer for my boys WCF because after going 0 and whatever they are right now, they're bound to win at least one game, right?
Yeah, this matchup as a whole is something I'm pretty excited about. Forces of Nature, they started the season 2-0, then they lost 3 straight since. 2 of those games they were playing with their sub, and they looked very good in those games. And then if I recall, in week 5, they had just a pretty meh game that they kind of just straight up lost.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I think they've looked a lot better than the 2-3 record. And now they've had a few weeks of practicing with Tree again, who was kind of MIA in real life for a few weeks. So we'll see if this team can kind of pick back up it's how they started the season or not. Mm-hmm. But on the other end of things, WCF, I do not think this team will go 0-10. When you win early game as often as they do, you accidentally win games occasionally.
Right, but you do have Wang to throw the games, though.
But when you have 10 chances, you're bound to not throw one of them, right?
That's right.
And this team, this doesn't look like a winless team to me. Which, however, I don't think they're going to make a run and go to the playoffs. They definitely can if they can just click with shot calling, which, I mean, is a much easier said than done. But this team, I definitely could see playing a major spoiler because with the way the playoff race is shaping up, if, let's say WCF just wins one game, that game might decide who doesn't go to playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, we're at this point in the season where people are struggling for wins, and they're starting to try some unorthodox stuff, which in the past has worked a couple times. Craig and Tizzy.
Yeah. And of course, there's got to be a little bit of pride on the line for these guys as well. I'm sure Wang doesn't want to be a part of the all 3 winless teams in BCL history if you count the short season.
Yeah, that's right. I kind of like to forget about that one sometimes.
Quite as much. When you only get 2 best of 3s, you get a little more leeway than 0-8 or a potential 0-10. Alright, we are in the game. We'll see if any of these teams are doing anything at level 1. I expect a level 1 because that's kind of been Force of Nature's thing. Although they currently look like they're fanning out. But WCF is all running up the mid lane, and now they're starting to split off a little bit.
I think Goering's going to quick go ward something over at red, and then they might try and go for their opponent's red. Yeah,
it looks like he's warding their team's Banana Bush, and we're going to see a 5-man invade towards this red, which doesn't look like it's going to catch anybody. Although Blaboure's going to have to watch out going over this wall. We can see a good hook from the Gurnig there, and the Gurnig hits the hook. Some damage going over the wall. Some good autos, but Blaboure's going to be able to just walk out of this one. A nice, calm play out of Blaboure.
I'm slightly disappointed that WCF did not have enough damage to force summoners from Blaboure. Like, that was a huge opportunity, and you missed it.
Well, I don't think they could have done it without blowing a flash of their own, really. It's hard to deal that much damage over a wall at level 1.
I would blow summoners for First Blood.
But I don't think they could have guaranteed First Blood, unless they would have blown multiple flashes. And even then, you still...
I think then if you take away the summoners early from Bablor, and then you can just gank him repeatedly time after time after time, and then it's hard as a player when you get ganked over and over and over again,
Well, yeah,
and there's really nothing you can do.
Definitely taking away the Vel'Koz flash is one of the best flashes WCF could take away. Which, by the way, WCF is going to be a few seconds late to their first camp. That's awful. I don't leash. If I'm not auto attacking until 157, I just don't leash. So, Boozcrap, you're a better team player than me. Maybe one day you'll be a better top laner too. But yeah, so at level 1, that's just the kind of... It's very tough. Like, you can debate a minute after it happened what the right call is. How hard is that for a team with no shot calling to make a decision on the fly?
That's true.
So we'll give them a little leeway here. So, getting into laning phase, do you think we're going to see any lane stomps?
Lane stomps?
Yeah.
I think we're going to see Boozgraf get his shit pushed in top lane. So we're either going to see Wang completely ignore it, or he's going to try and help and feed kills top to Dan.
Yeah, this is worth noting, Jarvan and Wukong should be a very, very snowbally lane. If one of those players get ahead, they should be able to really push their advantage in. I think especially if I'm just Dan gets ahead, because Boozgraf has shown in the past he doesn't really know how to adapt his build to the game situation. I assume he's going to go for that Ravenous Hydra first item, regardless of whether he's winning, losing, or going even.
Right, exactly. So we're actually seeing Wang pick up an early, some early items here. Seen some action down in bot lane here.
A lot of damage going in this bot lane. If there's another auto that goes off, oh, and 30's gonna barely miss his Q. And now Xmas Tree actually gets hooked. There's gonna be a lot. Oh, and Grenade with an awful, awful play. But Albino Joe is borderline. Oh no! He walks into the trap. He has to flash out of this. And Albino Joe, with the flash auto, he's gonna get the first blood. And now Xmas Tree flashes the built over Peacemaker. And gonna barely walk out of that one. Nearly a double kill. Meanwhile, we see Mikuro completely misses the cocoon in the mid lane.
Swift, what time are you at on yours? I'm at 403.
403, 404.
Okay. I was a little bit ahead of you on that one.
That's weird.
Slightly awkward from a casting standpoint.
Hopefully the stream isn't bad. And Xmas Tree is getting very greedy trying to stick around for EXP here. And Gerning's going to do this. But I think Gerning's actually going to flash hook. And I don't know if that hit thanks to the directed camera, but it wasn't enough for a kill if it did. But this is a huge, huge advantage in the bot lane for Albino Joe here. Sitting at 1150 gold compared to Xmas Tree's 600. We're going to be looking at a pickaxe versus double Doran situation. And there's a cocoon in the mid lane on a purple pickle pie, followed by a knockback. And so much, that ridiculous elite damage. Purple pickle pie immediately flashes and heals to get out of that one.
And just the way that CC, was one after another top lane, or mid lane, sorry, that was just so good.
Yeah, that was some perfect CC chaining.
And here's Wang completely ignoring Mick as he runs top.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to fight, I'm just Dan. And sometimes you get taken out at 20% for it.
Questionable plays coming out from my Wang.
Now, we can he's at least consistent with that.
Yeah. It's the only thing we can rely on for.
And now we see a real aggressive trade coming out of Albino Joe and Gurnik here. And Albino Joe spends the entire time auto-attacking 30 instead of ever attacking Tree.
Yeah, he even snuck some autos in on creeps over there.
30 does blow an exhaust to stop the trade from happening, but that was a big misplay from Albino Joe. That should have been a much more one trade with the way Tree has been positioned there.
Yeah.
Although a bit of a questionable engage from Gurnik in the first place. But this is about an 800 gold lead already, so if Cloud9 taught me anything, it's that the team that's down 800 gold at 6 minutes usually wins.
Yeah, or down on 2 in the series, one of the two.
Yeah, fortunately for forces of nature here, they cannot be reverse swept.
So.
But it's really crazy to see. I'm not even 100% sure where all that gold.
Oh, and the damage coming out from my
and
wing!
Jesus, Shivana forcing a flash out of Nikoro there, and that's a very valuable flash down. Obviously, the flash cocoon, one of the more potent ganks.
Jeez. Who'd have thought? Shyvana does damage 7 minutes into the game.
And this gold lead just keeps continuing to grow. 200 gold a minute has been the rate so far. It's widened up a little bit more. We're at about 1350 right now. A good chunk of that coming down in this bot lane where Albino Joe and Gurnik really started to create a nice CS differential. We'll see how much of this tree can get under his tower, but even with perfect CSing, he's going to be down right here.
Yeah.
And Gurnik going aggressive onto Albino Joe, but here comes I'm Just Dan on a teleport. A ton of damage onto Albino Joe and exhaust onto Albino Joe, and he goes down. That's the first kill for Forces of Nature onto I'm Just Dan. A double kill for I'm Just Dan. And that is a top laner, and that's going to turn into a dragon with nothing to capitalize. Boozrak with an awful teleport. He's going to go try to pressure. Actually, I stand corrected. Wang is in the top lane as well, so they might be able to trade dragon for tower here.
Right, which is the smartest thing that they can do at this point.
Yes. But that is a very, very advanced teleport out of I'm Just Dan for a league that's only full of shitty teleports. He waited until Boozrak recalled, and then instead of recalling himself, he just went to bot lane to make a play. Or made the play straight out of Fountain, I believe, as he had sent, which Wukong has a hell of a level 6 power spike.
And I guarantee you that was 30 calling that level 6 engage down bot lane. He's on Dan's ass the entire time, getting him set up in the top lane for that perfect teleport bot lane and picking up double kill and dragon.
We'll see what Boozgraf is able to do from this point out. His top lane tower down, he's got a lot of options here. And now he's actually going for a gank on the mid, but not going to get the knockup. And Joey, I'm pretty sure just because he knows it'll bother me, going with the pickaxe Avarice Blade on his first 2 recalls.
You want to know what I really hate to see, Swift?
What's that?
Is when you have an advantage early game and you're Caitlyn, and you pick up a passive farming item.
Are you telling me that Caitlyn's goal is... Actually, I'm going to do that because Boozgraf is going hard in the paint here. Mikuro knocked up, trapped in the Cataclysm, but... Oh, a great knockup, but it does not matter. Boozgraf with the flash auto attack going to secure the 4th kill of the match, 2nd for WCF. And keeping stuff on pace with I'm Just Dan a bit.
Yeah.
And Picklebot gets knocked up and Max. He flashes as he takes the last tick of the Mega Death Laser, and that kills him. Dying and wasting a flash. That is going to be rough for us here. And now another fight breaking out in this bot lane. Albino Joe is exhausted. Xmas Tree unsure of who to go in on, and a knock-up from 30. This is just such an awkward fight. No one seems to know what to do, but a kill for 30, a stun onto Albino Joe, a double kill for 30,
flash gets blown.
And Albino Joe flashes. You might be on 23 tank, but that's 23 too many. Because we're wasting summoners everywhere here.
Oh, man. The turn of events here, Swift.
This is... And WCF is still up goal. And we might see an all-in this top. Nope. I was ready to see 2 alts go out there, and I'm a little disappointed that only one of them was up.
I mean, Boozgraf does only have half an item right now to Dan's semi-complete first item.
Now, we do see Wang coming in for a 1v2 here in the bot lane. He's going to drag into the Sense, and he goes straight on to Xmas Tree, but Wang taking a lot of damage, really good kiting out of Xmas Tree, and Gurnik is just a little too late there. A very greedy play out of Wang, who ultimately trades his exhaustion. Meanwhile, in the top lane, I'm Just Dan cycloning in. Boozgraf's taking a lot of damage. I'm Just Dan's looking for the tower dive here, and he's going to get it. And instead of getting out, he's going to try to take the tower, and he's going to get shut down for no reason. He could have
Let me just auto-attack this a couple times. Oh, man.
This is...
Actually, it would have been even better, though, if he flashed after that last tower shot locked onto him.
Yeah, at least he was not able to do that. This game is very, this is North American League of Legends at its finest right here, folks.
This is SBL League at its finest. But we're going to see Mick return here mid again, missing in the cocoon.
Mick is not hitting any of these cocoons.
Except for that first time on purple. But that was a big missed opportunity there by Mick.
Yeah, he's had plenty of chances where purple has had zero vision at all. I mean, WCF in general, look at how few wards they have on this map.
Look at how protected Balboa is. He's got wards on either side of him, one being a pink. So they definitely are trying to keep him safe so he can carry the game.
And this totally shows the difference between these two teams. Any team with 30 on it, they're going to know vision is the most important objective in the game. Whereas the team with no shot calling has nothing shown. But 30's actually getting caught out. But we see a Enchanted Crystal Arrow into the Braum ultimate. And now my Wang going very deep. But he's being completely collapsed on. Purple Pickle Pie trying to get some damage. But Jesus, the laser, the arrow, a triple kill for Xmas Tree. And
this is just WCF not knowing their bounds. I would attribute that to very few wards and a bad all-in call by whoever called that.
Yeah, there's a lot of intuition that goes with calling fights. Sometimes you're not 100% sure where people are, and you just know, based on the vision, that you shouldn't commit to things. Especially when it's just a catch onto a Braum. He's not going to take any damage from anything you do. He's going to barely get out. He's going to double knock up you. And you're going to go 0 for 3, and suddenly Xmas Tree, who should have been taken out of this game with the lead Albino Joe had.
Right. And just look at all the wards that Forces of Nature have right now. They have 2 pinks in their bot lane. They have an upgraded trinket on Blabor. This is just wards winning the game right here.
And despite an early first blood, despite being up almost 20 CS before around the 8-9 minute mark, Xmas Tree is going to get his Infinity Edge before Albino Joe.
Yep. With first blood going on to Albino Joe. Shake my head.
And
Titanic Hydra coming out of Dan top lane.
Right, so
this next dragon fight is going to be
though.
disastrous.
Yeah, if WCF are smart, I don't think they should take this next dragon fight. Scale things out a bit, let your Shyvana get beat to it. They're nowhere around, but we do see Gernig and Purple Pickle Pie heading in that direction. They might try for a cheeky steal here. They're smart, nothing more. And nope, a good smite from, but actually a kill over the wall. Purple Pickle Pie slays the Kingslayer, but here comes Vel'Koz. Now Purple doesn't know where to go. He's gonna take an enchanted arrow to the face.
And when those kind of kills happen, it's all about sending a message.
And here's a hook over the wall on the Xmas Tree. Gurne goes all the way in, but Albino Joe can hardly deal any damage here because of the Braum. And now we might see 30 going for an aggressive double kill. And Xmas Tree
coming out from Tree.
Surprise heal, but Tree's gonna be able to block that tilt over ultimate ace in the
Tree,
hole.
you can get that. Oh.
And Tree is now 5-0-4.
Beast from the bot lane. And here's
now
Blabor
Wang getting
just
blown up by Blabor. Has the Dragon's Descent defensively.
It's okay though. He took exhaust.
So despite everything that's going on here, if I'm Wang, I honestly would have to feel like I've won the jungle matchup thus far. Mikuro, he's been a part of 3 kills, but I really don't feel like Mikuro is the reason why Forces of Nature are ahead right now.
It's
Wang
true.
is up almost 1,000 gold in this jungle matchup. Wang really did his job. Teammates just lost the straight 1v1s and 2v2s in too many places.
He'll win it late game, though. That was his plan the entire time. I mean, got Hydra, farming the shit out of the jungle, and, you know, Mick having some effective ganks, but, you know, Mick not really getting anything out of it except for a couple assists.
But this is really the point of the game where, and a huge engage, all of Forces of Nature showing up. A kill for Mikuro. This should be an easy tower as well. And Dan actually going very deep. He gets the knockup onto Albino Joe after flashing. Albino Joe popping both of his summoners, tries to survive under the tower, does not succeed. And a 4th kill for I'm Just Dan. And we're going to see a mid for bot tower trade. So at least WCF gets a slightly better turret out of it, but they do give up kills in the process.
Yep. It's good, though, because they're at least trading objectives, which for WCF is favorable right now. So even though they are down quite a bit, they are able to scrape up what goal they can on the map.
Yeah, we might see a bit of a jungle fight here. Jernig, fortunately, does not get hit by that cocoon. And I am really worried for WCF here.
I don't want them to engage one bit.
And I don't think they have the mental fortitude to play this out.
2v5.
What was that play? Jernig has had some very bad plays in this game. I have to be honest. His decisions on when to engage haven't made a lot of sense to me. He's had quite a few missed plays, which, like, you miss a hook, it's not a big deal. You got to be kind of aggressive with those. You know, you're going to miss some hooks. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But you should not miss 100% of the plays you don't take.
For those of you who don't know, in solo queue, I'm quite low when it comes to elo. So these kind of plays that I'm seeing, nothing new to me. But sometimes it just really makes me shake my head. But
the WCF at least has a few wards down. That's the best thing I've been able to say about them all game. They'll hopefully not get caught out in their own jungle in the next few minutes. But they've got to just play so cautious because there's so many ways that Forces of Nature can go deep on an engage. And
yeah, but we're seeing the collapse here from WCF.
Fun fact of the day, Azir towers do not grant vision to turret. Or they do, they just waited forever to clear that ward, okay.
Yeah. They're trying...
And Gernig going way too deep for vision. He's going to go down another kill to Blaboor.
Looks like they're going to try and collapse on this.
They lose their support and they decide to pick a fight now? They should know that teleport is down, but... And they're going to force the flash on a Mikuro. That actually kind of worked out for them. But look at the 3 carries for Forces of Nature. We are 20 minutes in. Oh man, no time for that because Purple pickled by his son. He's knocked up again. And now you can't get CC'd when you're dead, which he is. And we're going to see a lot of damage go down on the 2nd tier tower man.
If I had to summarize this game in a sentence, as we try and summarize, I would call this game summoners blowing summoners however fast they can without any regard for...
Very poetic because here comes I'm Just Dan, like a poet on the flank. If that poet's a Cannibal Corpse singer, talking about what he's going to brutalize the opposing AD carry with.
Here's one more tower that's going to drop now because of it.
And they're going to not take the inhibitor. They know they're low. All of WCF isn't. Boozgraf does have a teleport, but I don't think any way to make something happen here. And a great max range cocoon there from Mikuro. Should guarantee Blaboor walks out of this. Although I'm Just Dan. Oh, the decoy is perfect. And there's a double knockup, and WCF just does not want to stop this chase. And Blaboor with the Vel'Koz Mastery emotes. And And I guess as a consolation prize, WCF are about to take a dragon. But this is looking like WCF's worst game all season.
Well, yeah, there's not much to say. To be completely honest, it's bad plays coming out from both teams, but WCF is making the worst plays, I feel like.
Yeah, in this bot lane roll switch, just a combined 1, 11, and 2 for Gurnig and Albino Joe. Gurnig has just looked like he has no business starting at support. And now we see a collapse onto Albino Joe. He flashes, and 30 is going to make the safe play and not go any deeper for this kill. Forces of Nature doesn't have to force things in. What is Albino Joe doing? They're going to dive you! Here they come! How do you get out? Oh, I guess you just walk out.
You just walk the other direction.
I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. 30 and Blue Boar have no reason to go too crazy forcing things here. So we're going to see a good old-fashioned siege, which there's so many ways for this Forces of Nature comp to turn a siege into a dive or a disengage if WCF chooses to come in.
And Albino Joe being brought down to a quarter solely for trying to take bulk for the rest of his team. It's alright though, because he's got Avarice and he's got gold. Oh, the teleport coming in!
Oh!
Catching Albino Joe out!
And there's a chance to play his purple Micklefly. He's knocked up. He's getting destroyed. A second kill for Forces of Nature. WCF are being annihilated. Double kill for Mikaro. An extra kill for Blabour. 0 for 4 in the blink of an eye. And this could be 2 inhibitors in 24 minutes.
This has turned out to be one quick game, Swift.
Yeah, wow, this is just a disaster for WCF. And even their bright spots, like Boozgraph didn't play atrociously, although I'm Just Dan did get a slightly better lead out of their matchup. Wang didn't feed. I mean, it's just...
What he farmed the shit out of his own jungle, but it's not paying dividends yet. I mean, he did just become sated here. I'm noticing that now.
This is an example of his team not knowing anything about how their comp should play out. Azir can go late. Caitlyn can stall. Jarvan can at least make plays at any point in the game, but you don't always have to be forcing them because he can still make plays late. And we actually see, a big desperation Baron. This is a my Wang. This is a team playing call. And I think this is going to be a Baron 6
They actually might get this.
This is definitely theirs. And a hawk shot just in time to get the timer. Joke's on you, Tree. A month ago, that hawk shot would have been useful. But even with Baron Nashor, I don't know what WCF can do to slow this game out.
It'll let them keep the minions out of their base. That's really all it's going to be able to do.
But back to the point I was making earlier, just everyone on WCF was trying to take every fight they could this entire game, when all they wanted to do was stall out and get big.
Yeah.
And it's just a team that doesn't think about the game as they play it. And with some comps, you have to think about the game as you're playing it.
Think about the game, Swift? Oh, come on. But yeah, Vision is slowly being choked out of this upper jungle. We're seeing Pinks slowly moving into the enemy jungle. And here comes the assault on the last inhibitor turret.
Yeah, we'll see. Probably a desperation fight. Yep, Boozgraph going, he gets a big knockup, and actually a lot of damage going out onto Xmas Tree, but nowhere near enough. Long range kills starting to come out. All of that Blabour damage is destroying for WCF under their own tower. This is going to be... and now Mikro going in deep too. Xmas Tree is very low, so I think the siege is over. And Purple Pickle Pie fails the flash. And now Mikaro comes back in for the fight. He picks up a 4th kill. Gurnig, you are nothing. And now you're dead too.
That's game.
1-4-5, the 3rd inhibitor. They won't be able to close it. No, there's big creep waves. They might try to.
I would. Why not?
I guess you can. We're going to see. Can Boozgraf, Albino Joe, and Wang make some plays? And Boozgraf gets knocked up mid-combo, and now he's getting kited out. Wang gets the first kill. Xmas Tree goes for the finish, but that's way too greedy. And
these minions are going to
WCF
finish the game for him. Keep chasing Boozgraf.
Yeah, just, Albino Joe and Purple should be enough to hold this base for at least another minute, but we're 20 seconds away from Tree and 30 walking straight down that middle lane, right up to the Nexus and taking it. Although, at least for WCF's sake, they are the only comp in the game that can put up a Nexus turret again.
Yeah. I blame the lack of finishing there due to Blore calling out an early GG, apparently. It ain't over till it's over. But
if it's over early, it probably looks like this.
unless you're Cloud9.
Well, fortunately for Forces of Nature, they are not playing against Cloud9 right now. They're playing against Team Velocity.
Rest in pieces.
And that Zero
Last
turret
tower
going
of the game going
down far too early. This is.
They can just walk in and end it.
Do you believe in miracles, King?
Not this Miracle Swift.
As long as you pray,
no!
as long as you
Tree
believe,
getting caught
you
out!
might be able to kill the Xmas Tree. But here comes crazy flanking out of Forces of Nature. Even if their AD carry dies, it doesn't matter because everyone on WCF is dying. And this is a easy GG and one of the biggest stops we've seen all season coming out of Forces of Nature, who are definitely looking like that team we saw in week 1 and 2 all over again. And that was just such a clinic on how to win a League of Legends game.
Yeah. Get an early advantage, choke out Vision, move up the ward line, rinse and repeat.
So I think I would like to hear from Blabour and 30, if possible.
User was moved to your channel. User
I
was
think,
moved to your
yep,
channel.
Here we go. Blabour and 30 dragged and dropped into the channel. Good old-fashioned way by an admin. So, Blab, you've been bringing out some unique picks this season. We got a Malzahar a few weeks back. We got a mid lane Vel'Koz today.
Yeah.
Is your team just really... Is that a lot of confidence your team has in you, or a lot of confidence you have in your team?
Well, I mean, I play Vel'Koz a lot. I just got it to Mastery Level 5 the other day. The Malzahar was just kind of on-the-fly thing. I think the whole team has a lot of trust in each other.
Well,
Blab plays
you
a really
were
good Vel'Koz.
a monster that game. There's so much max range DPS you were able to put out.
So I got a question more specifically towards 30 in your bot lane. You pick that bot lane. I've seen it several times, but then I think it was you that gave up first blood to Caitlyn. Were you nervous about how that lane was going to progress, or did you know that as soon as your lane hit 6, you could all in and get a kill whenever you wanted to?
Correct. Yeah, I wasn't worried. Tree was a jabroni and got hooked, and he like baited me in, and then we both tried to squeeze by the side there where that trap was, but I was too fat and I took it. So yeah, Tree's never gonna let me live it down though.
Well, 30. Tree should probably be giving you a little credit because you were blocking so much damage for him in those early skirmishes. I mean, I think you were a huge part of what got Tree going in that game.
Oh, it's always the support that gets the 80 carry fat. It always works out like that.
I mean, 30, I guess I'll just ask you straight up, what did you think of Albino Joe and Gernag with their role swap?
They did fine enough. I honestly think our lane matchup, Ash and Brown versus Caitlyn Thresh, is just stronger. Like there's nothing they could really do against us. I was way too tanky and I could block pretty much everything they have.
So if you're up against a Thresh and a Caitlyn, as long as you lock Ash and Brahmin, you can guarantee the enemy Thresh is going 0-9-2 every time. Because I'm gonna bring that one into solo queue with me if it's that easy.
Yeah, no, seriously. If you have to play support in solo queue, pick Braum. Like you really just can't go wrong with him right now. He's getting nerfed. He's just super strong right now. Tree also played, or Dan played really good on Wukong. Same with Mick. He played really good on Elise.
Your
entire team played very well.
That was a clinic. So you guys are up to 3-3 now. You had a bit of a rough stretch, weeks 3 through 5. Obviously, you had to play Ghost for a few weeks, and then you had to bring Tree back in on low practice. Did having the week off and some extra time to reacclimate Tree to things help out? Is this the forces of nature we're going to see going forward, or do you think that was a bit of a byproduct of playing WCF?
A little bit of both. I think as a team we just went on tilt after week 3, and that week off I think we're like salt free and we're playing the game we want to play.
Well, it looked like it all game. We'd see you guys lighting up the map, swarming to the right objectives.
All right. I do have one other quick question before we close things out here for the both of you. Are we going to see any different playstyles come next week when the SBL is allowed to play Juggernauts? Do you guys maybe have something special that you kind of want to hint toward but not tell us?
I don't know. I think we didn't actually practice them very much because they weren't allowed. So
Yeah.
You guys are just comfortable with your team comp as it is right now in your playstyle?
yeah. I mean, we'll try them out, of course, but
Yeah, the Mord bot lane is interesting to me. I want to see how that plays out. And also Dan plays really good Darius, like in the past, so that could be something.
Yeah. Well, that's it for me, Swift. I don't know if you have anything else.
I think that really wraps things up. Just awesome game, you guys. Congrats on the win and good luck going into next week.
Thanks.
Yep, thanks.
And for everyone on stream, we are going to be taking our usual 3-ish minute break. We'll be switching streamers real fast, and we'll be on the Rift hopefully in the next few minutes with the corpse of Guerrilla Radio versus Thomas the Dank Engine.